Make a little short one tonight. You know, I watched Don Trump make a little pissy fit over Nancy Pelosi tearing up some papers during the State of the Union. And I watched old Don Trump carry on about how she broke the law, you know, because she tore up these papers. How it was a great big deal. And I see this tempest in a teapot over Hunter Biden and his $80,000 a month job. And I see all these little goofball arguments that these politicians make against each other. And, you know, I don't know about the rest of the people in this country, but I've been witness to the looting of trillions. I've seen millions of American families just absolutely suckered and pooch-screwed, if you will, defrauded and swindled, and millions of mortgages. And the banking system, Donald Trump bailed out with $16 trillion in corporate welfare. Now I see all your new cost-cutting measures and how you're going to cut this back and you're going to cut this and you're going to cut that from the poor and you're going to make people work for their welfare. I see debtors prison where people are, you know, unable to pay their bills. So in a lot of the states, apparently they're issuing arrest warrants for people who can't pay their bills. I wonder how many of these slobball, low-life, scuzzbag bankers that have robbed the system and robbed Fannie Mae and robbed Freddie Mac, and you know they've lined their pockets with lots of money from Sallie Mae and the FHA and the VA, and you know they've just stolen so much money it staggers the mind. How many of these bailed out bankers who couldn't pay their bills have been put in debtor's prison, Donald Trump? I mean, you know, I watch this absolute tomfoolery over Nancy Pelosi tearing up some papers during the State of the Union, and how everybody's whining and carrying on about how that was a violation of the law, and you know she should be impeached and arrested and all this other chicken shit. It's just chicken shit, what it is, Donald Trump. When are you going to go after the bankers, Donald Trump, Mike Pence? When is William Barr going to go after these crooked slob banker pals of yours that are financing all the elections? Bernie Sanders, you want to take a stab at this one with Elizabeth Warren? How about you, Mayor Pete? Come on, Mayor Pete, let's talk about when the bankers are going to start going to jail for all the money they can't pay back. All the bailout money. 16 trillion, Donald Trump. You want to talk about a swamp, Donald Trump? How are they financing all the elections in this country, Don Trump? Am I a little pissed off, ladies and gentlemen? And the answer is, you know what? Just had a victory in a federal court in Tennessee over fraud in the inducement and some of these predatory mortgages and predatory foreclosures. I just proved a case in Tennessee federal court. And I'll tell you one thing, if I know anything at all, I know that Nancy Pelosi tearing up some papers is nothing compared to the banks being bailed out for $16 trillion, Donald Trump. You need to get a hold of Timothy Geithner and Ben Bernanke and Janet Yellen and Hank Snow, and you know, we need to start answering to the American public why all these bankster sons of bitches who are financing all the elections are Teflon. Why are they Teflon, Don? You got a good answer for that one, Don Trump? Come on, let's hear it. America, I'll tell you what, these politicians have bamboozled this country beyond freaking belief, and that includes Don Trump. You're not much of a swamp drainer, Donald Trump. You haven't drained any swamp. The only swamp I see being drained is, it's got nothing to do with the people financing all the elections with all that money they're stealing out of the banks. $16 trillion bailout. You want to try to explain that, Don Trump? How the hell did $16 trillion come up missing in the first place? Got something to do with a lot of your friends, doesn't it, Don Trump? And Barack Obama and the Clintons and the Bushes and Pelosi's and Maxine Waters and Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Mayor Pete. Good old Mayor Pete. Let's start answering these questions to the American public. Why is it that the bankster gangster swamp has been untouched, Donald Trump? Folks, all the information and all the materials you need to understand the truthfulness to this video are listed right here below. The next time I see somebody whine and carry on about Nancy Pelosi tearing up some papers and how a great big crime it is, I'm going to ask myself, is the executive gone nuts? Is the Justice Department lost its mind? Is the Senate and the Congress hitting the bong? Whining and carrying on like a bunch of freaking spoiled brat girls over Nancy Pelosi tearing up some papers. Oh, what a great big crime. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it right there. And as always, hasta la vista. God bless, and you betcha we're coming back.